She was banned from the village for what she did, but years later, they begged her to return. 1. The village gathers under the moon. The drums have stopped. The fire crackles, casting long shadows over the silent crowd. The elders sit in their half circle, faces like stone. The villagers stand beyond them, whispering, shifting, waiting. Something terrible has happened. 2. The accused stands alone. A lone figure stands before the council. Her back is straight, her face calm. Whispers stir again, some sharp with anger, others hushed with doubt. A child tugs at his mother's hand. What did she do? No answer comes. The chief speaks the sentence. The eldest among them rises. His voice is deep, steady, final. For your crime, you are cast out. You may never return. A hush falls, even the wind seems to still. 4 gasps and pleas fill the air. A cry cuts through the silence. A woman falls to her knees, hands trembling. No, please, have mercy. Others turn away, unwilling to watch. A few glance between the elders, searching for hesitation. There is none. The decision has been made. Zuba's final words. She lifts her chin. Eyes meet hers, some filled with fear, others with shame. One day you will regret this. The words are clear, sharp as a knife. No one speaks. 6. The walk into exile. She does not look back. Step by step, she moves toward the darkness beyond the village. The firelight fades from her skin. Someone exhales, relieved. Another mutters, "It is done." 7. The unanswered questions linger. What crime did she commit? Why was she truly cast out? No one dares ask aloud. The villagers disperse, but the whispers remain, twisting through the air like the wind. She was banned from the village for what she did, but years later, they begged her to return. 2. Background setup. The grandmother's teachings. A warm hand guided small fingers over rough leaves. Feel them, the old woman whispered. Some heal, some harm, but all have a purpose. A girl listened, her eyes wide with wonder. The plants speak, the old woman said. Listen, and they will tell you how to cure. The girl listened. She learned, and when the old woman's breath faded, she carried the knowledge forward. The village's trusted healer. Mothers came, carrying feverish children. Elders arrived, bones aching from long years. She gave them remedies, soft words, and hope. They left her hut with lighter steps, with children who smiled again. You have your grandmother's hands, they told her. Blessed hands. She never turned anyone away. 3. The eyes of envy. But in the quiet corners of the village, another pair of hands trembled with age. Mzikato, the village healer, watched. His medicines took longer. His knowledge, once revered, was now questioned. She is young, he murmured, reckless. The words took root. One day, her ways will bring ruin. Whispers in the shadows. A cough in the night. A woman too weak to rise. Go to Zuba, they whispered. But other whispers followed. She learned too much, too fast. Her knowledge is not natural. She does not just use herbs. She calls on things we do not see. No one spoke these words aloud, but fear spreads like fire in dry grass. A desperate night. A boy lay still, his small chest barely rising. The chief knelt beside him, eyes dark with helplessness. Mzikato crushed roots, boiled leaves. It will work, he said. Give it time. But time slipped away. The boy's breath grew shallow. A voice rose from the doorway. Let me try. Task 6. Zuba's forbidden cure. She stepped forward, hand steady. I know a way. She pulled a pouch from her waist, revealing crushed leaves, leaves forbidden long ago. The elders had warned against them, calling them dangerous, unnatural. The chief hesitated. The boy's body shivered. Do it, he said. The paste spread across his lips. A moment passed, then another. Count of 7. A miracle that became a curse. By morning, laughter filled the hut. The boy sat up, eyes bright. The chief wept with relief. She saved him, they cried. But when Mzikato arrived, his face was like thunder. What did you do? 8. The accusation takes root. The whispers returned, sharper this time. She saved him, but at what cost? The boy was nearly gone. No herb works that fast. She did not cure him. She called something to bring him back. Mzikato's voice rang out. She meddled with forbidden things. 9. The elder's judgment. The council gathered. Some voices rose in her defense. She has helped us for years. She only used knowledge, nothing more. But fear is heavier than truth. She broke our laws, the chief finally said. His voice wavered, but only slightly. She must go. 10. Zuba's banishment. A circle of faces, eyes full of fear and regret. She stood among them, no longer one of them. Her voice was calm. "You will regret this." She turned, walking into exile with nothing but her knowledge. No one stopped her. She was banned from the village for what she did, but years later they begged her to return. 3. Conflict development. 1. The village moves on, or tries to. Seasons passed. Zuba's name became a whisper, then a memory. Mothers no longer brought their children to her hut. The sick turned to Mzikato. Life continued. Harder, but still moving. No one spoke of the past. No one admitted what was missing. 2. Mzikato's rising power. With no one to challenge him, Mzikato stood tall. "The ancestors favor me," he declared. Yet the sick stayed sick longer. His cures did not always work. When a remedy failed, he blamed fate. It was their time, he would say, and no one dared question him. 3. The omen of doom. A child coughed in the night, a deep rattling sound. By morning, his body burned with fever. The next day, another child fell ill, then another. The village watched, uneasy. This was no ordinary sickness. The land begins to suffer. The river darkened, carrying a bitter taste. Crops shriveled under the sun, roots brittle and dry. "The land is angry," the elders muttered. "It rejects us." But why? No one dared to say. 5. The healer's failure. Mzikato worked tirelessly, grinding herbs, boiling roots, muttering prayers. He pressed his mixtures to burning lips, watched, waited, nothing changed. The sick withered, their breaths shallow. Some never woke again. 6. Desperation grips the village. The wails of mourning mothers filled the air. Fathers dug graves where crops should have grown. "Who will save us?" a woman sobbed. No one had an answer. 7. The council gathers. The elders met in hushed voices, faces heavy with worry. "We cannot let this continue," one said. "We must seek help," another agreed. But from where? 8. The forbidden name. A silence stretched long and thin. Then a voice, hesitant, careful. "Zuba." The air grew heavy. Some looked away, others clenched their jaws. No one denied the thought. 9. The chief's stubborn pride. "She was cast out," the chief said, voice like stone. "We will not crawl back to her." But his hands, folded in his lap, trembled. He had seen the graves. 10. The death toll rises. Another family lost a child, then another. The sickness did not stop. The elders exchanged glances, each seeing the same unspoken truth. They were out of time and out of choices. 4. The desperate plea. 1. The chief's worst fear comes true. The chief sat beside his wife, his fingers trembling. Her breaths were shallow, her skin slick with fever. He called for Mzikato, but the healer only looked at the ground. "There is nothing more I can do." The chief's heart pounded. The sickness had reached his own home. 2. Desperation breaks pride. The council gathered, but there was no strength in their voices. They had debated for weeks, ignoring the truth. Now the truth lay dying in the chief's hut. A heavy silence fell. "We have no choice," an elder murmured. The words hung in the air. No one dared disagree. The journey begins. Before sunrise, a group stood at the village gate. The chief, the elders, and the strongest warriors. Their feet felt heavy, their pride even heavier. Not long ago, they had driven her away. Now they walked the same path, hoping she would listen. 4. Days of searching. The forest swallowed them whole. They moved through tangled roots and thick shadows, calling her name. No answer. "She is lost to us," someone whispered. Then a wisp of smoke curled in the distance. A flicker of hope. 5. Zuba's hidden sanctuary. They reached a clearing and their steps faltered. Before them, a small home stood. Lush crops, fresh water, herbs drying in the sun. It was thriving. She was thriving. And there she was, standing at the doorway, arms crossed, watching them in silence. A bitter welcome, no warmth, no surprise, only the weight of old wounds. "You threw me away," she said, voice steady, unshaken. The elders shifted, averted their eyes. No one had an excuse. 7. The chief's humbling. The chief, once mighty, lowered himself to the ground. His knees met the dirt. "Please, help us," a whisper barely carried by the wind. 8. The weight of silence. The trees swayed, the wind sighed. Zuba did not speak. The village had cast her out. Now they begged at her feet. Would she refuse? Zuba's terms. She inhaled, slow and measured. "I will return." Relief rippled through the group until she lifted her chin. "But on my terms." 1. The return of the outcast. Zuba stepped through the village gates, the same gates she had walked through in exile. The villagers froze, eyes darting away, shame thick in the air. Mothers clutched their children, elders shifted uncomfortably, but no one spoke. 2. No words, just action. She did not acknowledge the whispers, not a glance at the chief, not a word to the elders, straight to the sick, straight to work. 3. Commanding the chaos. Clean water, more fire, now. She crushed leaves, mixed powders, brewed bitter remedies. Hold her up, make him drink, quickly. The villagers hesitated, then obeyed. 4. The first miracle. The chief's wife shuddered. Then, slowly, she breathed deep. Her eyes fluttered open, gasps rippled through the hut, murmurs spread like wildfire. The impossible had happened. 5. The healer's last stand. A sharp voice cut through the amazement. She is a fraud. Mzikato pushed forward, eyes wild. She will bring more misfortune. You all see only what you wish to see. 6. The village has chosen. No one moved. No one spoke. The people turned their backs on him. All eyes remained on Zuba. 7. The healing spreads. One by one, the sick stirred. A child sat up, coughing but strong. A father grasped his wife's hand, his fever breaking. Outside, the wells ran clear. The crops, after so long, regained their color. The poisonous betrayal. Mzikato trembled. His hands, unsteady, slipped something into a simmering pot. A child, crouched in the shadows, saw. A scream tore through the air. Hands grabbed Kato, shouts of anger, cries of betrayal. The chief's voice boomed, "You are the true danger." A 10, the final banishment. Mzikato, once the village healer, now the outcast. His protests were swallowed by the roars of the people. Zuba stood tall, and the village, her village, cheered her name. Ash's aftermath resolution. The village breathes again. The sickness was gone. No more wailing at dawn. No more empty mats. The wells ran clear, the fields stretched green, laughter returned to the air, but something else had changed. The people whispered Zuba's name, not in fear, but in awe. 2. The chief's public apology. The village gathered once more, but this time the air was different. The chief stepped forward, shoulders heavy. "We were wrong." His voice carried through the crowd. He turned to Zuba, eyes filled with regret. "Zuba, forgive us." A feast in her honor. Drums echoed into the night. Fires burned bright. Food, laughter, dancing, everything once denied to her, now given freely. They feasted in her name. Fear lingers in some hearts, but not all hands reached for her. Not all eyes met hers. Old fears clung to the corners of the village. Some still whispered, some still wondered. 5. A seat among the elders? The chief stepped forward once more. A place on the council. Gasps rippled through the crowd. This had never been done before. 6. Zuba's words of warning. She stood before them, the same people who had cast her out. Her gaze swept the faces, the memory still sharp. "I will help," she said, her voice unwavering, "but I will never forget." Silence. Then nods. They understood. 7. A lesson etched in history. Fear had nearly destroyed them, ignorance had nearly cost them everything. They would remember. 8. From outcast to legend. Zuba walked through the village, no longer in exile. Children ran to her, laughing. Elders bowed their heads in respect. She had been banished. Now she belonged to history, moral reflection. 1. The price of fear. Fear had made them turn on her. It had made them whisper, accuse, and cast her away. But in the end, fear did not save them. It nearly destroyed them. 2. Wisdom must be heard. Truth cannot be buried. Ignoring knowledge does not make it disappear. A healer's hands should never be bound by ignorance. 3. Strength is not in power, but in resilience. Zuba never begged. She did not ask for their mercy. She survived. She thrived. And when she returned, it was on her terms. 4. A village forever changed. They would never forget. Not the suffering, not the lessons, and never again would they turn away from wisdom out of fear. The final image. Zuba stood tall, watching her people. She did not need their approval, only their respect.